Nature is precise until it isn't. These creatures were born with features so bizarre that even scientists struggle to explain how they survived at all. Some look unreal, others seem impossible. Join us and let's explore nature's strangest biological mistakes that challenge science itself. Let's go.
Number 12. Hirola. The Hirola antelope carries the unfortunate distinction of being Africa's most endangered antelope species. Sometimes called the world's most resilient antelope, this name now seems bitterly ironic given their population crash. They survive only along the Kenya-Somalia border, occupying a territory that shrinks every year as pressures intensify. This antelope represents the only living species in its genus Beatragus. All other genus members exist only as fossils, making the Hirola a living link to prehistoric megafauna. British zoologist H.C.B. Hunter first described them scientifically in 1888, documenting their unique physical features. Their reddish-brown coat, white belly, and white facial stripe create distinctive markings that separate them from other antelope species. The most unusual feature appears below their eyes, enlarged preorbital glands that create the illusion of having 4 eyes. These glands produce scent secretions used to mark territory boundaries and communicate with other Hirola. Males spend considerable time refreshing these scent marks throughout their range, creating invisible chemical maps that other Hirola can read. Global population estimates place between 300 and 500 Hirola remaining in the wild. 0 individuals live in captivity. Every attempt to establish captive populations has failed, as these antelope prove extremely sensitive to stress and disease when confined. Their social and territorial behaviors require vast grassland spaces that zoos cannot provide. Males establish territories that they defend against rivals, while females form small herds that move between male territories. This complex social structure collapses completely in captivity. Wild Hirola occupy short grass plains, dry savannas, and mixed woodland grassland mosaics. They evolved to handle seasonal droughts that eliminate water sources for months. Competition with domestic livestock devastates their food supply, while poaching continues despite legal protection. Their population declined catastrophically over recent decades, making them one of Africa's most critically endangered large mammals. Drought cycles hit them particularly hard, as their specialized diet becomes unavailable during extended dry periods.
Number 11. Red uakari. The Amazon rainforest harbors one of the most unsettling primates you'll encounter. The red uakari looks like something from a science fiction film, with its completely bald, crimson face that appears sunburned and raw. This monkey literally drops from trees onto unsuspecting people below, creating dangerous encounters in remote jungle areas. Their distinctive appearance comes from a complete lack of facial pigmentation. Blood vessels sit directly beneath transparent skin, creating that shocking red coloration across their entire face. The rest of their body contrasts sharply, covered in thick black or reddish-brown fur, while their tail remains unusually short compared to other primates. Scientists believe this extreme facial coloring serves as a health indicator within their social groups. These primates occupy specific territories in the upper Amazon basin, particularly throughout southern Peru and western Brazil. They stick to flooded forests and areas near river tributaries, where seasonal water changes dramatically alter their environment. Wild populations form groups ranging from 15 individuals up to massive congregations approaching 100 members, creating complex social dynamics that researchers struggle to fully understand. Zoos avoid red uakaris for multiple compelling reasons. Their diet proves incredibly specialized, requiring specific fruits, seeds, and plant materials available only in their native habitat. Any deviation from this precise nutritional balance causes immediate health decline. Beyond food, their social behavior creates problems in captivity. These monkeys develop intricate hierarchies and communication patterns that collapse in confined spaces. The stress factor alone eliminates any possibility of successful captive programs. Red uakaris react to minor environmental changes with severe anxiety responses. Temperature fluctuations, altered light cycles, or unfamiliar sounds trigger physiological stress that compromises their immune systems. I'm going to ask you a simple question. Are you a naturally curious person? If you're watching, I'm pretty sure the answer is yes. This space is made for people like us.
To ensure you're always part of this community and receive all our latest discoveries, you just need to do one thing: subscribe to the channel. It's the best way to stay connected with us. Okay, now that you're part of our Legion of the Curious, let's move on to the next item.
Number 10. Long-beaked echidna. New Guinea's highlands host one of evolution's strangest mammals. The long-beaked echidna belongs to the monotreme group, an ancient mammalian lineage that lays eggs rather than giving live birth. Only 5 monotreme species exist worldwide, 4 echidna species and the platypus, making them among Earth's most primitive living mammals. Their appearance seems assembled from spare parts. Thick, coarse fur covers most of their body, interrupted by sharp keratin spines that provide protection from predators. Large, curved claws equip their feet, perfect tools for excavating burrows and tearing apart rotting logs while foraging. Their most distinctive feature extends from their face, an elongated beak that curves downward and houses an extremely long, sticky tongue. Long-beaked echidnas occupy exclusively New Guinea's highland forests, alpine grasslands, and cool montane environments. They avoid lowland areas, requiring the specific temperature and humidity conditions found at higher elevations. During daily activity periods, they search through dense leaf litter, probing with their sensitive beaks for prey. Their tongue, coated in sticky saliva, shoots out rapidly to capture insects, earthworms, and other small invertebrates hiding in soil and debris. Zoos cannot successfully maintain these animals for multiple compounding reasons. Their diet proves incredibly specialized, requiring constant availability of specific prey species that don't exist in captivity. They show extreme stress sensitivity, reacting to minor environmental changes with behavioral shutdown. Temperature and humidity must remain within narrow ranges, as these echidnas evolved for cool mountain climates and cannot tolerate heat or dryness.
Number 9. Araripe manakin. Brazil's Araripe Plateau hosts one of ornithology's most striking birds, discovered only in 1996. The Araripe manakin earned its name from Brazilian zoologist Werner Bjorgerman, who died in 1995 before completing the species' scientific description. Local people call it the Little Soldier of Araripe because males wear what appears to be a bright red helmet. Male plumage creates a dramatic visual impact. Pure white feathers cover most of their body, interrupted by a brilliant red band that runs from the top of the head down the back of the neck. This color combination makes males unmistakable in their habitat. Females and juvenile birds show much more subtle coloring, with olive green plumage and paler green heads that provide camouflage while nesting. Their habitat restriction creates a conservation crisis. These birds occupy exclusively a tiny area of northeastern Brazil, where unique climatic conditions create specific vegetation patterns. They live in evergreen forests near water sources, particularly around springs and streams at the base of a plateau. This microhabitat provides the specific temperature, humidity, and plant species they require. Number 8. Sumatran ground cuckoo. Indonesia's Sumatra island hosts one of the planet's most elusive bird species. The Sumatran ground cuckoo vanished from scientific records for over a century, existing only in museum specimens and old field notes. Then 1997 brought rediscovery when researcher Anya Raffiastanto documented living birds, followed by the first photographs that confirmed their continued existence. This medium to large bird stretches approximately half a meter in length. Bright green plumage covers most of its body, interrupted by a jet black crown and matching green beak. The most striking feature appears around its face, a vivid blue facial marking that stands out dramatically against the green feathers. These colors create perfect camouflage in the dappled forest light where they spend their entire lives. Their habitat requirements explain why captivity remains impossible. These cuckoos occupy submontane and montane forests along the southern Barisan mountain range, specifically at elevations between 300 and 1100 meters. The temperature, humidity, and vegetation at these specific altitudes cannot be duplicated elsewhere. They forage exclusively on the forest floor, searching for invertebrates and small mammals in the leaf litter and decomposing vegetation. The International Union for Conservation of Nature lists them as endangered, with population numbers continuing their downward trajectory.
Deforestation driven by agricultural expansion destroys their habitat faster than conservation efforts can protect it. The remaining population occupies such a small area that any environmental disruption could eliminate the species entirely.
Number 7. Saharan cheetah. The Sahara Desert and Sahel region harbor Africa's most mysterious cheetah subspecies. The Saharan cheetah, also called the Northwest African cheetah, evolved to survive conditions that would kill most large predators. Their pale, almost white coat with faded black spots provides perfect camouflage against desert sand and rock. Light brown legs complete their specialized coloration pattern. These cheetahs rank among the world's most endangered big cats. A 2008 population estimate placed fewer than 150 adults in the wild, distributed across a massive but harsh territory. They adapted to extreme heat that exceeds 50 degrees Celsius, water scarcity that can last months, and prey populations far more sparse than in typical cheetah habitat. Their bodies developed metabolic adaptations, allowing them to extract maximum moisture from their food and minimize water loss. Size distinguishes them from other cheetah subspecies. Saharan cheetahs measure between 1 and 1.5 meters in length, slightly smaller than their savanna cousins. This reduced size helps with heat management in desert conditions. They hunt small to medium prey, like gazelles, using their famous speed and short, explosive bursts rather than extended chases. Desert terrain doesn't support long pursuits, so they rely heavily on camouflage and stalking skills. Zoos cannot replicate Saharan conditions adequately. These cheetahs need enormous territories to patrol, as desert prey densities remain extremely low compared to grassland ecosystems. An enclosure would need to span dozens of square kilometers to provide realistic hunting opportunities. The temperature extremes, from scorching days to freezing nights, require physiological adaptations that cannot develop in captive-born animals. Their endangered status adds another barrier. Conservation protocols restrict removing individuals from wild populations that sit on the edge of extinction. Every Saharan cheetah alive today plays a critical role in maintaining genetic diversity and population viability. Captive programs would need multiple breeding pairs, which the wild populations simply cannot spare. Their survival depends entirely on protecting their desert habitat and the prey species that sustain them.
Number 6. Giant golden-crowned flying fox. The Philippines harbor flying creatures that challenge everything you think you know about bats. The giant golden-crowned flying fox stretches its wings to an incredible 1.7 meters across, making it one of the largest bat species on Earth. When these animals take flight, they look less like bats and more like small people gliding through the jungle canopy. Their appearance strikes a balance between beautiful and unsettling. The head shines with golden brown fur that catches sunlight like polished copper, giving them their distinctive name. The rest of their body wears dark brown fur, creating sharp contrast with that gleaming crown. Unlike the small insect-eating bats most people know, these giants belong to the fruit bat family, with faces that look surprisingly dog-like rather than the wrinkled expressions of typical bats. These flying foxes stick to lowland forests far from human settlements across various Philippine islands. They're particular about their real estate, choosing remote areas where ancient trees provide perfect roosting spots. During the day, massive colonies hang from high branches, sometimes mixing with other bat species in gatherings that can number in the thousands. The sight of hundreds of these giant bats hanging upside down creates an unforgettable spectacle. Their diet consists entirely of fruits, nectar, and flowers. They travel enormous distances each night searching for fruiting trees, following seasonal patterns as different plants come into bloom. Figs rank among their favorites, but they'll consume dozens of fruit varieties depending on availability. This feeding behavior makes them critical for forest health because they spread seeds across vast territories, essentially planting new trees wherever they fly. Zoos face impossible challenges trying to house these bats. The wingspan alone demands enclosures larger than most facilities can build. These animals need space to actually fly, not just hang from perches. Their specialized diet requires constant supplies of fresh tropical fruits that would cost thousands of dollars monthly for even a small colony. Temperature and humidity must match Philippine conditions exactly, as these bats evolved for that specific climate.
Number 5. Yangtze giant softshell turtle. China's Yangtze River system once supported the world's largest freshwater turtle species. The Yangtze giant softshell turtle dwarfs even massive snapping turtles, with shells exceeding 100 centimeters in length and body weights between 70 and 100 kilograms. These prehistoric-looking creatures lived for possibly 100 years or more, reaching sizes that seem impossible for animals living in rivers. Their history stretches back millions of years, surviving ice ages and dramatic climate shifts. They once ranged throughout the Red River system in China and northern Vietnam, inhabiting major waterways and their tributaries. Local people knew them well, featuring them in folklore and traditional beliefs. But the 20th century brought catastrophic changes that pushed them to the very edge of extinction. The current situation ranks among conservation's most desperate crises. Only 2 confirmed individuals exist in the entire world, both males. The last known female died in April 2023, apparently ending any hope for natural reproduction. These 2 males live in separate facilities in China and Vietnam, representing the species' final genetic legacy. Scientists desperately search for any additional survivors hiding in remote river sections or isolated lakes, but years of surveys have found nothing. Zoos cannot maintain populations of these turtles even when specimens exist. They need massive bodies of water measured in hectares, not the pools that most facilities provide. Their natural behavior involves patrolling long river stretches, diving to muddy bottoms to hunt prey, and hauling out onto sandy banks to bask and nest. Replicating these conditions require river-like enclosures that virtually no facility possesses. Pollution devastated their populations worse than hunting. Industrial chemicals, agricultural runoff, and heavy metals poisoned the rivers they called home. These turtles need clean water with healthy fish populations to survive, conditions that disappeared from most Chinese rivers decades ago. Even in captivity, maintaining water quality for animals this large presents enormous challenges. Their waste production requires industrial filtration systems running constantly.
Number 4. Gobi bear. Mongolia's Gobi Desert harbors one of the planet's most improbable predators. The Gobi bear represents the world's only desert-adapted bear species, a subspecies of brown bear that evolved to survive conditions that would kill any other bear population. They occupy roughly 23,600 square kilometers of extreme desert terrain, where summer temperatures exceed 45 degrees Celsius and winter cold plunges below -40. The International Union for Conservation of Nature and Mongolia's Red Book classify them as critically endangered. Current estimates place fewer than 40 individuals remaining in the wild, making them among Earth's rarest large mammals. Their survival hangs by a thread, with the population so small that genetic diversity concerns threaten long-term viability, even if habitat protection succeeds. Water scarcity defines their existence. Though their territory spans thousands of square kilometers, only a handful of locations provide reliable water sources. These bears must remain near scattered springs and seasonal streams, concentrating their activity in small areas despite the vast empty desert surrounding them. During extreme droughts, competition for these water points becomes intense. Their diet radically differs from other brown bear populations. Gobi bears consume almost no large animal prey, instead surviving primarily as vegetarians. Their food consists of roots, berries, small plants, and occasional protein from trapped insects. This diet provides minimal calories compared to salmon-eating or elk-hunting bear populations, forcing Gobi bears to range widely while expending minimal energy. Experts rank them as potentially the second least aggressive bear species, though they remain dangerous wild animals that should never be approached.
Number 3. Omura's whale. The year 2003 brought a stunning announcement. Scientists had identified a completely new whale species swimming in oceans worldwide. The Omura's whale had somehow escaped scientific classification despite its size and global distribution. These relatively small baleen whales measure between 9.5 and 11.5 meters, with females growing larger than males following typical whale patterns. Their physical description remains incomplete because living observations prove so difficult. Scientists know their dorsal fin rises high and thin from their back, shaped like a crescent moon that appears suddenly when they surface. This distinctive fin provides the most reliable identification feature from a distance. Their body coloration and exact proportions still need more documentation from additional sightings.
geographic range extends across the Indo-Pacific region and portions of the Atlantic Ocean, though their exact distribution remains unclear. They apparently prefer tropical and warm temperate waters, avoiding the extreme cold where larger baleen whales concentrate. Like their relatives, Omura's whales are carnivorous filter feeders, consuming massive quantities of small fish, krill, and crustaceans. They likely target dense prey concentrations, swimming through schools with mouths open to trap food. Zoos and aquariums cannot house any baleen whale species, and Omura's whales present even more challenges than better-known species. They require enormous ocean territories to patrol while feeding, spaces measuring hundreds of square kilometers. No facility exists that could contain them. Their specialized diet needs constant availability of specific prey species in massive quantities. Most critically, these whales show extreme sensitivity to stress, and confinement would prove immediately fatal. Behavioral observations remain limited to occasional wild sightings. They appear alone, in pairs, or small groups up to 12 individuals. The most fascinating discovery involves their unique vocalizations. They produce amplitude-modulated songs lasting 9 seconds, followed by a 4-second tone. This pattern repeats every 2 to 3 minutes, and individual whales sometimes sing continuously for 13 hours. Scientists are still trying to decode what these songs communicate and whether they serve navigation, social bonding, or mating purposes.
Number 2. Megamouth shark. November 15, 1976, brought one of marine biology's most shocking discoveries. A United States Navy vessel operating near Hawaii pulled up its anchor to find something extraordinary tangled in the chain. The creature looked like no known shark species, with a mouth so disproportionately large it seemed almost cartoonish. Scientists examining the specimen realized they had found an entirely new shark. The megamouth shark belongs to a rare category, filter-feeding giants that process enormous volumes of water to extract tiny prey. Only 3 shark species feed this way, and the megamouth ranks as the smallest, though small remains relative. These sharks reach 5.2 meters in length and can weigh up to 1,200 kilograms. Females grow larger than males, a common pattern among shark species, where size advantages help with reproduction. Their feeding strategy sets them apart from predatory sharks. They swim through tropical and temperate waters with their massive mouths wide open, filtering krill, jellyfish, and plankton from the water column. Specialized gill rakers trap prey while water flows through and exits via the gills. This passive feeding requires specific ocean conditions where prey concentrations remain high enough to sustain their enormous bodies. Reproduction in megamouth sharks remains largely mysterious. Scientists believe they follow a placental viviparous pattern, where embryos develop inside the mother's body and receive nutrients through a placental connection. However, no one has observed their mating behavior, birthing process, or early life stages. This knowledge gap alone prevents any captive breeding attempts. Zoos and aquariums cannot house megamouth sharks for practical and ethical reasons. Their aggressive temperament makes handling extremely dangerous. They require vast open ocean spaces to patrol while filter feeding, spaces that no facility can provide.
Number 1. Bornean Bay Cat. Borneo's rainforests hide one of the planet's least known felids. The Bornean Bay Cat remained unknown to science until relatively recently, and even today researchers have documented only a handful of wild sightings. These cats weigh merely 1.5 kilograms, making them among the smallest wild cat species. Their 40 teeth pack into tiny jaws, designed for catching fish and crustaceans rather than typical feline prey. They rank among Earth's most cryptic animals. Cryptic doesn't just mean rare. It means their behavior and ecology remain almost completely mysterious, despite decades of research effort. Scientists know they exist exclusively on Borneo Island, but their exact distribution, population size, and habitat preferences remain largely guesswork, based on scattered camera trap photos and occasional direct observations. The International Union for Conservation of Nature lists them as endangered, though this classification relies on educated estimates rather than solid data. Their population declines for certain as deforestation destroys Borneo's forests at alarming rates. Palm oil plantations replace jungle, eliminating the rocky forest streams where these cats hunt. But counting actual baycat numbers proves nearly impossible when the animals avoid all human contact and occupy such remote territories. Their diet sets them apart from other small cats. Instead of focusing on rodents and birds, baycats evolved to hunt aquatic prey. They patrol rocky streams searching for small fish, freshwater shrimp, crayfish, frogs, and aquatic insects hiding among submerged rocks. Their hunting strategy requires clear, fast-flowing water with plenty of hiding spots where prey concentrates. Captivity cannot replicate these specific stream conditions, no matter how much effort facilities invest.
Still curious? Then don't stop now. The next mystery is already waiting for you. Just click the video on screen. I saved it just for you. See you there, curious one.